Right now, watch as thousands of runners test their limits at the Run Madtown 10K and Half Marathon. Also, an update on the body recovered Friday night in Lake Monona, who authorities say it is. And we bring you to Spring Green for the 28th annual Bob Fest, an outdoor music festival celebrating the music of one legendary artist. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight during your Labor Day weekend. I'm Jalen Banks. The Dane County Sheriff's Office confirmed the body recovered from Lake Monona Friday night is the boater who went missing May 16th. Last Friday, 4 boaters capsized in Lake Monona. One was able to make it to shore while the others were rescued. And we learned last weekend 1 boater was still missing. As we extensively covered throughout the week, crews continued searching for the last remaining boater. And Friday night, they were able to recover him. We'll continue to keep you updated both on air and online as we gather more information. A motorcyclist is dead following a crash near Lake Mills Sunday afternoon. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation reported the crash occurred just after 2 p.m. on I-94 westbound at milepost 254.2. An initial investigation showed a motorcycle traveling westbound when the driver lost control, resulting in a fatality at the scene. The crash remains under investigation by the Wisconsin State Patrol. Fitchburg police arrested a man who they say drove drunk Saturday morning. Officers reported the man had 4 prior arrests for operating while intoxicated, and a preliminary breathalyzer test indicated a result of .16, which is twice the legal limit. A Madison man was arrested for his 5th offense of OWI and booked into the Dane County Jail on felony charges. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, who joins us live in studio on Madison's West Side. Alex, another beautiful day this Memorial Day weekend.
It was gorgeous, and we got a gorgeous Memorial Day in store. Mild temperatures, light winds, sunny skies. Wait till I show you those temperatures in a moment. But then we trade that in for some not great stuff. That'd be Tuesday going on into Wednesday. Cool conditions, showers, but we could use the raindrops, as I always say. And I got a warm up in the forecast as part of the 3 things that you need to get out of the forecast tonight. Low to mid 40s tonight. I think the chance for patchy frost low, but the potential is up for a couple of areas to see some patchy fog overnight tonight. Temperatures, it's a touch cool for this time of year, but look at our highs on Memorial Day Monday. We're going to do 69 in Madison, 70 to the north in Marable, 68 in Janesville, 72 to the northwest out towards the Viroqua and the La Crosse areas. And then we've got that rain that we're going to turn our attention to coming up in Maine weather. We're going to track it together and how many raindrops we may accumulate coming up.
And speaking of tracking, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. This weekend, the Run Madtown race took over downtown Madison with thousands of athletes taking on this weekend's races. This morning was the 10K and the half marathon event. And our Merrill Harbert introduces us to some of the runners moments before the race even kicked off.
I'm excited to get out there and do it. I'm feeling great.
Run Madtown has been running Madtown for more than 30 years. But for some athletes like Spencer Majerus, this is a first.
I'm a little bit nervous just because this is like my first race period, but I'm also super stoked. Run Madtown seems just like an electric environment too.
For other runners, it's this kind of environment that keeps bringing them back.
It's always very exciting to run a race because of the energy and the excitement with all of the other runners.
Kelly Carlson has been running half, full, and ultra marathons for about 15 years.
It's definitely a part of my identity.
She says getting to race day takes training, so you can be ready to hear the
3, 2, 1, go!
Whether it's an athlete's first race ever or another medal to their collection, Run Madtown is about bringing community together to take on the challenge.
It's all about inclusivity and community. You're part of our flock.
Race director Beth Salinger says they embrace the Run Madtown flamingo.
Whether you walk, you run, you roll, you stroll, whatever, we want everyone to be a part of it because it's just so much fun.
One with the flock and together through the finish line. These runners say if you are considering taking up the sport,
it's worth it. The payoff is great, and even if it hurts or it's hard, it gets to be something that just becomes a part of you, and it makes the rest of your life so much better.
My only piece of advice would be to just start, go out there and do it no matter how hard it is, because it really was difficult for me at first too.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. And congratulations to everyone who competed today. And another special congrats to two of our very own News 3 Now reporters Ellie LaLiberte and Maddie Heimsch, who both ran their first half marathon together this morning. Good job, guys. Today, Governor Tony Evers ordered flags at half-staff for Memorial Day in recognition of the nation's fallen heroes. In a statement, he says, as we honor Memorial Day, we solemnly pay tribute to service members throughout our nation's history who have given their lives in service of the freedoms, principles, and values we hold so dear. And this week on For the Record, our political reporter Will Keneally sat down with State Rep Brian Stile on the newly passed reconciliation bill and how it will impact Wisconsinites. They also chatted about this weekend, and Stile says it's been a busy Memorial Day.
Which will be good. It's for all the right reasons. When you get to take pause and reflect that many men and women who've worn the United States military uniform have sacrificed their lives for our freedoms and liberties. It'll be a busy weekend, but for all the right reasons.
If you would like to watch this week's full episode of For the Record, you can find it on our website at channel3000.com/fortherecord. In Spring Green, local musicians gather to celebrate the music of Bob Dylan at the 28th annual Bob Fest. Photojournalist Gabe Leitzico shows us.
I have two on either end of the Dylan spectrum. I have North Country Fair and Maggie's Farm, you know.
Usually I tell people my favorite Bob Dylan song is the one I'm listening to at the moment.
I've always loved the different versions of Billy.
I don't have a personal favorite. It'd be like choosing, which kid is your favorite child.
I thought, well, why don't we have a party for Dylan's birthday and just get a bunch of people together and play all Bob Dylan songs.
It's always a blast. I mean, this has been going on for, nearly 30 years now. And it's hilarious that it's like 8 hours of Bob Dylan songs. And it just covers all day long. And it's packed, as you can see out there, so.
People began to realize that these songs were treasures. So by the third year, we had to move outside because there wasn't room for everybody in here.
We're really lucky. We have way more musicians that want to play than we actually have time for. And one of my favorite things is that the groups that come here put their own twist on it.
I just try to find what the meaning of it is a song to me, and then try to express that in a way that's different than how other people have heard it in the past. So
there's no right or wrong way to do a Bob Dylan song.
The cold-blooded moon. The captain waits above the celebration.
It's just poetry in general. It's
part of the American songbook.
Yeah.
He's one of the.
He's lasted for as long as he has because you can interpret his music. I mean, there's so many different people that ask, hey, what does that even mean? It's like I'm not really sure what he meant by it. So, but everyone has their own version, and that's what makes a great poet, I think.
Yeah, it's universal themes.
Yeah.
I had not really experienced anything like that concert. The relentless poetry of mid-'60s Bob Dylan is just amazing. It still amazes me. There's a lot of truth in it, truth and poetry. And sometimes people think poetry is some sort of nebulous thing, but it's got truth in it. And I think that's why. I think we need the truth, all of us, at this time in particular, but anytime. The songs ring as true now as they did when he wrote them. So.
And why Bob Fest is held in Spring Green is a complete unknown. Well, thank you, Gabe. And to Spring Green. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Alex returns live in studio with a complete look of your First One forecast. And 5 years since the death of George Floyd, a look back at how this event changed Minneapolis. And Republican lawmakers are speaking out about President Trump's big, beautiful budget bill, which was nearly passed by the House last week.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
5 years ago today, the murder of George Floyd left an undeniable mark on the country and Minneapolis. And today, activists and faith leaders gathered to pay tribute to Floyd, whose killing had sparked global calls for justice. CBS's David Schumann is with CBS Minneapolis with more.
For some, this square has come to symbolize the fight for reform. But for people who work here, it means being able to come and make a living every day. Kia Brown cuts hair a few storefronts down from where George Floyd was murdered. She wasn't sure her business would last.
I can't work here. Oh my God, this is right at the George Floyd Square. Like, people are really not gonna come here.
Ruth Humphrey didn't return after the murder, even though she worked on this block for decades.
I haven't been down here in God.
She expected more to have changed in the last 5 years.
There used to be some restaurants right there on that side of the street. There still are? Is the barbecue place still there? Oh, is the turkey place still there? Oh, okay.
Mill City Auto Body has been here 23 years. But the owner, Dan, who asked us not to use his last name, says he's struggling badly.
Business is slow. People are scared to come over here. I have 4 kids in college. I have to keep surviving.
Dan carries a gun for protection since he was assaulted in 2020. But we spoke to more than one resident who said they do feel safe living here.
Everything's now is getting much better.
Jerome Richardson, a youth activist, told us as time has passed, his emotions associated with this space have evolved, specifically to include joy and celebration.
We've been such in a state of grief, and grief takes time. But I think one of the things that makes Black people most resilient is when we turn our pain into power.
This week, the Justice Department announced it was ending investigations into 6 police agencies and canceling consent decrees proposed for Louisville and Minneapolis. But Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara tells CBS News that reform efforts will continue with or without federal oversight.
A community in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is paying tribute to a woman who went missing and was brutally murdered. On Friday, people gathered at a growing memorial outside of the restaurant where Sade Robinson had worked. The 19-year-old vanished on April 1st of last year. The following day, a hiker found some of her remains in a city park. Police later found her car torched in Milwaukee. More of Robinson's remains were found along a shore in southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. The man accused of killing her, 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson, is set to go on trial next week. He's facing numerous charges, including murder and dismembering Robinson's body. The Justice Department unsealed charges Sunday against the U.S. citizen accused of plotting to throw Molotov cocktails at the U.S. Embassy in Israel. The man, Joseph Neumeyer, was deported from Israel to the U.S. Sunday. The Department of Justice says Neumeyer, who is also a German citizen, spit on an embassy guard last week. After he ran away, guards searched the backpack he left behind and found 3 Molotov cocktails. Neumeyer was later arrested at his hotel. Authorities say the suspect made threats on social media to burn down the embassy and assassinate President Donald Trump. No word on how he's pleading.
That was the narrative.
Republican leaders are calling for an investigation into former President Biden's physical and mental health. House Oversight Chairman James Comer has requested interviews with Biden's physician and key aides. The letter sent to Biden's team come as Comer specifically plans to zero in on Biden's use of the auto pen. An auto pen is a device used to make automatic signatures. The interview requests are throughout June. Comer had sought interviews with these aides during the last Congress, but was blocked by the Biden administration. President Trump is taking aim at Harvard once again, despite a judge's ruling striking down his efforts to end the university's international students program. CBS's Willie James Inman has more.
This weekend, the president is defending his administration's decision to block Harvard University from accepting international students. Posting on Truth Social, "We want to know who those foreign students are, a reasonable request since we give Harvard billions of dollars." The executive action was temporarily blocked by a federal judge late last week, with a hearing set for this Thursday. Foreign students at Harvard now feel uncertain about what comes next.
We're certainly feeling pretty nervous, and it's been a dream for me to come from a small town in Taiwan all the way to Harvard.
So it's pretty chaotic, and I don't know what's going to happen next.
Amid the president's fight against Harvard, the GOP budget bill passed in the House last week, and now the legislation moves to the Senate.
One big, beautiful bill because it's going to do so much, and the America First agenda will be delivered for the people just as we promised.
The proposal makes cuts to social programs, including food stamps, while also slashing clean energy efforts. The bill includes billions in border security funding, eliminates taxes on tips until late 2028, and extends the 2017 Trump tax cuts. 1.4 million undocumented migrants could lose access to Medicaid, along with some Americans once work requirements for the program kick in. Johnson defended the bill.
We have not cut Medicaid, and we have not cut SNAP. What we're doing, Margaret, is working on fraud, waste, and abuse.
Now, it could take several weeks for the Senate to consider the legislation, and if it makes it to the Senate floor, it could look drastically different than it does now. Meanwhile, some Republicans have already voiced their opposition to the bill. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Now let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Alex Harrington joining us live in our studios on Madison's west side. Alex.
Live and happy to report we got a beautiful Memorial Day on the way as part of the 3 things you need to know. Showers Tuesday going on into Wednesday and chilly temperatures. And then next weekend, I promise you that we'll have a warm up in store. That's all part of the 3 things you got to get out of the forecast. Let's start off with that good stuff. 69 degrees on Monday, partly sunny, seasonable, light winds. This really can't be beat. Southern Wisconsin. This could be our low temperature for Memorial Day morning when it's actually going to be our high temperature, because sometimes we get humid, sometimes we get a bit on the stormy side during Memorial Day. Not this go around. We got the shower activity in the forecast a little bit later Tuesday night going on into Wednesday. Periods of showers, and some areas could get some decent amount of water with this. Let's track that. Here we go. Here Tuesday at noon. Showers really across all of southern Wisconsin. But as we march forward into Tuesday night, areas west of I-39 have the best chance for showers right now. This could meander a bit over the course of the next couple days. So you want to tune in. We'll have the very latest the next few days on this weather system. More showers as we head towards the rush hour on Wednesday morning. As we carry forth a little bit further into the day on Wednesday, still some scattered showers across the area, even all the way up to the 6 o'clock time frame Wednesday before those showers disperse Thursday morning. But we do have more shower chances in the forecast going beyond Thursday going on into Friday, maybe even into Saturday as well. This placement here too, widespread, I would say 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Looks pretty confident across all of southern Wisconsin, but that 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, where that lines up, that may change a bit here over the course of the next couple of days as that weather system's track becomes a little bit more refined, a little bit better track showing us exactly where that heavier area is going to set on up. Now we could use the raindrops because we still do have abnormally dry conditions across much of the area to moderate drought conditions along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Temperatures tonight, comfortably cool for this time of year. Low to mid 40s as we go on into Monday. Temperatures upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. Some of that warmer stuff off towards the north, towards the west, towards the Viroqua and the Richland Center area. There's those shower days Tuesday going on into Wednesday. And as we go out further out into the 10-day forecast, a shower chance Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, and with possibly a little cool front coming through Saturday afternoon. But right now, those chances are not looking widespread at this point in time. Then we warm up as we go out into next week with a cold front next Tuesday night going on into Wednesday. That may bring us our better chances for thunderstorms. Slowly working our way to temperatures above normal for this time of year. And as we go further into June, the Climate Prediction Center is showing here chances for us being above normal increasing, and as we carry forth with the water chances, and we could take this one full screen here, just right on the edge of us starting to see those rainfall chances start to be a little bit more on the above normal side as we go a little bit further out into June, which again with a warm weather pattern, as I always mention and just mentioned before, take all the raindrops you can get as we start moving not just into the planting season but the growing season.
Yeah, absolutely. as always, we just could take a little bit of rain.
A little more always goes a long way.
But as for tomorrow, looking forward to it.
No showers tomorrow. Beautiful day.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Coming up in sports, the Brewers battle it out in Pittsburgh, looking to get back in the win column. Those highlights and more next in sports. The Brewers have had an up and down season so far, and they're looking to get things back on track this afternoon. The Brewers in Pittsburgh taking on the Pirates, who are leading at the top of the 8th. And now we head to the 8th. Crew down 5-3, and the rookie Caleb Durbin continues his hot streak. He sets up 2 scores to tie it at 5 apiece. Then Mr. Reliable Bryce Terang at the plate. He hits a shot into left field, setting up a Caleb Durbin score. And that would be all the Crew needed. Brewers go on to win it 6-5, the final. Final round of the Charles Schwab Challenge. Ben Griffin on 18 from a hard bank on the rough and puts it close for a makeable par putt, but Griffin's par putt on 18 is true. And he would go on and be able to win the Charles Schwab Challenge by a stroke, finishing the day under 11. The NBA playoffs continue today, and the Pacers and Knicks reigniting their rivalry from throughout the years. The Knicks take Game 3, 106-100, with the Pacers now leading 2-1. Knicks star Jalen Brunson finished with 23 points, and Karl Anthony Towns finished with a game-high 24 points and 15 rebounds. A record-setting moment at the Indy 500 on Sunday. Alex Palou took the checkered flag, narrowly beating out Marcus Ericsson. Palou becomes the first Spaniard to win the car racing event in history, and this was his first Indy win. The 28-year-old said he wasn't sure what it meant for Spain, but he hoped that people in the homeland were celebrating. Sunday's race marked the 109th running of the Indy 500. A final check of your first warn forecast is coming up when we return. So Alex, I was out at Bratfest earlier today, and thankfully, as a cashier, I was underneath the tent, but had I been outside, probably would have been pretty toasty.
Yeah. Well, it was a sunny day today. At least
Absolutely.
It was cool on the cool side.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can get 80s this time of year, high humidity, nothing like that for your Memorial Day forecast tomorrow. We're going to do a high temperature of a refreshing 69 degrees, light winds, partly sunny skies, although, Jalen, yes, you will need that sunscreen tomorrow if you are going to be out and about. Clouds will be on the increase. We got shower chances on the way Tuesday going on into Wednesday. Those highs, very chilly for this time of year, but it's short-lived. We warm up by the time we get to the weekend.
All right, sounds good, and thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. Seinfeld is next, and our next newscast is tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30.